In the summer of 1982, the French national team, under the leadership of the philosopher Michel Hidalgo, brought to the World Cup a breathtakingly beautiful style of football, woven together by masterful artists on the pitch. It was the tournament where the French showcased le Carré Magique, the magical quartet, transforming the pitch into a stage for enchanting ballet performances. They rode a journey full of emotion, culminating in the legendary night in Seville, in the semi-final against West Germany. It was considered one of the best, yet also most brutal, matches in World Cup history, where the French led 3-1 in extra time, but ultimately succumbed in the fateful penalty shootout. They left the tournament as the fourth-place team, but in the hearts of their fans, they are uncrowned champions, the embodiment of romantic yet tragic beauty. But behind the tears shed in Seville that year were people with their own unique destinies. More than 4 decades have passed, and time has etched its mark on their lives, leaving its mark of ups and downs. Some have become legends, some have chosen a life of seclusion, and some have ended their journey forever. Let us pause and look deeply into the lives of those musketeers of that time. Marius Trésor, the steadfast and authoritative elder brother of the French defense at the 1982 World Cup. At 32, the center-back from Guadeloupe possessed the free spirit of the sea and the composure of a born leader. At that tournament, Trésor was not only a reliable barrier, but also created one of the most beautiful moments in French football history. A thunderous one-touch volley that found the net against West Germany in extra time of the semi-final. That moment was more than just a goal. It was a masterpiece, a testament to the class of a world-class center-back who knew how to shine when his team needed him most. After that fateful night in Seville, Trésor continued to dedicate himself to Bordeaux and won the French championship in 1984 before retiring. Unlike many of his colleagues who chose the demanding path of coaching, Trésor chose a joyful and artistic life. He tried his hand at music, releasing a reggae album with a strong Caribbean influence. Afterward, he returned to Bordeaux to work in coaching and public relations. Trésor's life was always full of laughter. He was a bridge between generations, a symbol of optimism. He never let the sadness of Seville haunt him for too long. Instead, he chose to live and enjoy each moment. There's a beautiful parallel between Trésor on and off the pitch, spontaneity and generosity. On the field, despite being a defender, he's always ready to unleash a volley like a top-class striker. Off the field, he lives unconventionally, daring to sing, laugh, and live true to his cheerful nature. He's proof that football is fun, no matter the outcome. Today, at the age of 74, Marius Trésor has retired and lives a peaceful life in Bordeaux. He still frequently appears on commentary programs with his characteristic smile, and is respectfully called Sacré Marius by fans. The Sacred Marius, a true treasure of French football. Maxime Bossis, nicknamed Le Grand Max, the Great Max, arrived at the 1982 World Cup at the age of 26, the prime of a footballer's career. Tall, agile, and possessing a modern footballing mindset, Bossis was the type of defender every coach craved. He played all 6 matches, an irreplaceable anchor alongside Trésor. Ironically, history remembers him most for that cruel moment, his missed penalty in the semi-final against Germany. The image of Bossis collapsing to his knees on the Seville pitch has become a symbol of the pain of an entire generation of talented but ill-fated players. However, the resilience of a true star prevented Bossis from being overwhelmed by that setback. He rose strongly, winning Euro 1984 with the French national team and continuing to play at the highest level until the 1986 World Cup. His club career is closely associated with FC Nantes, where he became a living legend. After retiring, Bossis turned down many attractive coaching offers to become a respected manager and television commentator. He is known for his elegant demeanor, deep voice, and insightful analysis. His personal life is very private and peaceful. He is a model of a successful gentleman who knows how to balance past glory with present tranquility. Bossis's calm, almost icy demeanor on the pitch seems to have carried over into his life. He accepts glory or defeat with the same composure. The pain of 1982 did not break him. On the contrary, it forged a more resilient and insightful Bossis throughout his later career as a commentator. Today, at 68, Maxime Bossis remains a beloved figure in French football. He regularly participates in charity matches and is an ambassador for beautiful football. He has proven that a missed shot doesn't define a person. What matters most is how that person gets up after a fall. Jean-Luc Ettori arrived at the 1982 World Cup at the age of 26 under rather unusual circumstances. Not initially the first-choice goalkeeper. Injuries and the form of his teammates forced him into the starting lineup at the biggest tournament on the planet. Despite not being as tall as the average goalkeeper, Ettori compensated with exceptional reflexes and courage. He endured immense pressure, especially in the tense penalty shootout against Germany. Although he couldn't help France advance, Ettori's efforts throughout the tournament are undeniable. Ettori's career is a fairy tale of loyalty. He dedicated his entire professional playing career, almost 20 years, to only one club, AS Monaco. He held the record for most appearances in Ligue 1 for a long time. After retiring, he continued his association with the Principality's team as goalkeeping coach and then sporting director. His life and Monaco's were one and the same. He was the architect of generations of talented goalkeepers for French football, including Fabien Barthez. Ettori lived a life of dedication, quietly keeping the flame alive. The link between Ettori and life is steadfastness. On the pitch, he steadfastly defended the goal against towering strikers. Off the pitch, he remained steadfast in his loyalty to one team, one love. In a world of football rife with blockbuster transfers, Ettori's loyalty is a precious gem. Today, at 68 years old, after retiring from his managerial role, Jean-Luc Ettori lives a peaceful retirement, but still follows AS Monaco's progress closely. He is a legend, reminding us of the value of unwavering dedication and steadfast love. Alain Giresse, also known as Gigi, it was an indispensable part of the Fantastic Four of 1982. At 29, with his small stature of only 1.63 meters, Giresse looked dwarfed by the giants on the field. But hidden within that small body was a genius mind and boundless energy. He scored the goal that put France 3-1 up in extra time against Germany, a goal Giresse celebrated in a fit of ecstatic joy, believing that a place in the final was already secured. Giresse was the soul, the heartbeat of the captivating passing game. After the glory of Euro 1984, Giresse ended his illustrious playing career to embark on an adventurous coaching journey. He became a football missionary in Africa, leading national teams such as Gabon, Mali, Senegal, and Tunisia. He was beloved by the people of the African continent for his dedication and beautiful football philosophy. Giresse's life was a tireless journey. He always sought new challenges in distant lands, using the experience of a legend to nurture football in remote areas. Giresse's intelligence and skill on the pitch made him a brilliant strategist. He knew how to maneuver in difficult situations, just as he used to weave through opposing defenses. Despite his small stature, his influence on French and African football was immense. Today, at 71 years old, Alain Giresse is far from retired. He has just finished his tenure as coach of the Kosovo national team and is still ready for new challenges. He is living proof of the saying, "Talent knows no age, and physique does not define greatness." Gérard Janvion, nicknamed Le Cerbère, the three-headed mastiff, was the unsung hero of the glamorous 1982 team. At 28, Janvion was a defender whose performance relied on his exceptional physical fitness and tenacious marking ability. While his teammates further up the field were busy creating chances, Janvion quietly cleaned up, provided cover, and confronted the most dangerous forwards. He was the necessary steel to protect the romanticism of the French national team. However, Janvion's life after football was a somber one. After retiring, he struggled to adapt to everyday life. He faced financial and legal troubles, and experienced periods of severe personal crisis. This was a tragedy that many players of previous generations faced when their glory faded. But with the fighting spirit of a defender who never gave up, Janvion gradually found his balance again. He coached amateur teams in his hometown of Martinique and found joy in helping the community. Janvion's toughness on the pitch seems to reflect his own arduous life. He had to fight to win the ball back from opponents, and later, to fight for his own peace. His story is a reminder of the hidden aspects behind the medals. Today, at age 70, Gérard Janvion lives a quiet life, away from the media. Although he didn't have a brilliant managerial career like his teammates, in the eyes of Saint-Étienne fans and the French national team, he remains a respected warrior who dedicated all his strength to the national team. Gérard Soler, 28 years old at the 1982 World Cup, may not have been this most flashy name, but he was a true warrior in Les Bleus' attack. In the opening match against a spirited England side, it was Soler who unleashed a decisive volley to equalize, securing a valuable point and boosting the team's morale after an early goal. He played diligently, moving widely and always ready to hold up the ball for his teammates. Soler wasn't a showman. He was a skilled craftsman, knowing when to appear to solve problems. After the tournament, Soler continued a successful career in the French National League, playing for Toulouse, Strasbourg, and other clubs. However, his most notable career shift came in management after retiring from playing. Soler served as president of AS Saint-Étienne and worked at the top levels of many other teams. His career as an official was also turbulent, marked by internal conflicts and financial pressures, a stark contrast to his simplicity on the pitch. He was a man of power in football, whose decisions were sometimes controversial but always stemmed from his strong personality. Soler's intensity on the pitch has carried over into his life as a tough leader. If on the field he fought to score goals, on the sidelines he fought to secure the club's interests and position. He is a prime example of a player who knew how to transform his playing career into a political career in sports. Today, at age 70, Gérard Soler has retired, living a quieter life after years of tumultuous management. He rarely appears in the media, but his goal against England in 1982 remains a shining highlight whenever his name is mentioned. Manuel Amoros arrived in Spain at the age of 20, the youngest of the team but possessing the heart of a lion. The young AS Monaco player astonished the world with his modern full-back style, tirelessly attacking and defending, and possessing thunderous long-range shots. His most memorable moment was his powerful shot that hit the crossbar of the West German goal in the semi-final, a shot that, if it had gone in, might have changed the course of French football history. Amoros was voted the best young player of the tournament that year, a recognition of his exceptional talent. Amoros's later career was brilliant but also controversial. He was a key player for the Euro 1984 winning team and helped Marseille win the Champions League in 1993. However, his hot temper often backfired, most notably the headbutt incident at Euro 1992, which resulted in a suspension and the loss of the captaincy. After retiring, Amoros tried his hand at coaching, managing teams such as Comoros and Benin. His life was always dynamic, always seeking new challenges, although his youthful impulsiveness sometimes left its mark. Amoros's explosive performance on the pitch was a reflection of his fiery spirit off the field. He lived and played instinctively, with intense emotion. It was this fire that made him a legend, but it was also this fire that sometimes consumed his career. Today, at 62, Manuel Amoros remains involved with football as a commentator and brand ambassador. He is more composed now, but his eyes still light up whenever he recounts that shot that hit the crossbar years ago, a beautiful regret from his youth. Michel Platini, the central figure, the soul of the Fantastic Four, entered the 1982 World Cup at the age of 26 as one of the greatest stars on the planet. He was the orchestrator of every attacking move, the author of the equalizer in the semi-final, and the creator of incredible assists. Platini's image with his elegant number 10 shirt, low-cut socks, and flowing hair became a symbol of the beauty of French football. He didn't need to run much, because the ball always found him and obeyed him absolutely. Platini's career after 1982 was a series of glorious highs, 3 consecutive Ballon d'Or awards, winning Euro 1984, and becoming an immortal legend of Juventus. After retiring, he rose to the pinnacle of power as president of UEFA, one of the most powerful men in European football. But then, tragedy struck like a cruel twist of fate. The corruption scandal brought down Platini's image, stripping him of all his positions and honor, forcing him to endure long years of legal battles to clear his name. Platini's life was a grand drama of ups and downs. On the pitch, he was king, controlling the game with his brilliant mind. Off the pitch, he was also king on the political chessboard of football, only to be brought down by the very same power struggles. Brilliance and tragedy went hand in hand in this man's life. Today, at 68, after being acquitted of several major charges, Michel Platini chooses a quiet life, away from the hustle and bustle of modern football. Despite experiencing both glory and bitterness, his legacy as one of the greatest number 10s in French football history is indelible. Bernard Guengini, 24, was an often overlooked but crucial piece of the Fantastic Four, along with Platini, Giresse, and Tigana. Possessing an exceptionally skillful left foot and a superb free-kick ability, Guengini scored 2 goals in that tournament, both from set pieces, against Kuwait and Austria. He provided balance, filled gaps, and created magical moments when other stars were neutralized. Guengini played with the grace and finesse of a violinist in a symphony orchestra. After the World Cup, Guengini continued his successful career at Sochaux, Monaco, and Marseille. He was a player of consistency and dedication. After retiring from playing, he became a technical director and scout, with a long association with Sochaux. His personal life was peaceful, and he was proud that his son, Benjamin Guengini, also followed in his footsteps as a footballer. He was a family man, living humbly and avoiding the allure of fame. Guengini's quiet demeanor on the pitch perfectly mirrored his life. He didn't need to be the most outstanding player, just the best at his job. Amidst a sea of glittering stars, he chose to be a small but consistently shining star. Today, at age 66, Bernard Guengini is enjoying a peaceful retirement. He still occasionally appears to share his free-kick techniques, but his greatest joy is seeing French football develop based on the technical foundations that his generation painstakingly built. Didier Six, the nomad of French football, participated in the 1982 World Cup at the age of 27. With his blistering speed on the left wing and direct playing style, Six was a dangerous attacking force capable of breaking down solid defenses. However, fate chose him for a tragic role. The player who missed a penalty in the semi-final against Germany. That missed penalty haunted him for many years, an unhealing scar on the soul of a passionate player. Didier Six's career was a constant journey of movement. He was one of the first French players to play abroad, wearing jerseys from Stuttgart, Germany, to Aston Villa, England, and Galatasaray, Turkey. After retiring, that nomadic spirit continued to lead him to coaching in remote areas of Africa such as Togo, Mauritius, and Guinea. He accepted the challenges in the most deprived places, simply to live his passion. His life may not have been rich in money, but it was rich in cultural experiences. The instability in Six's club career and his travels reflect a free spirit, yet one also filled with loneliness. He seems always searching for a place to belong, to soothe the pain of the past. He is the solitary wanderer of French football. Today, at 69 years old, Didier Six is still going strong. Despite some decline in his health, he remains passionate about coaching. His story is proof that football can sometimes be cruel, but it is also the only medicine to heal emotional wounds. Jean Tigana, 26 years old, was the inexhaustible lungs of the French national team. With his slender, almost gaunt physique, few would have guessed that Tigana possessed such incredible physical fitness and tackling power. He was the perfect link between defense and attack, capable of recovering the ball from opponents and immediately surging forward like an arrow. At Espana 82, Tigana covered the entire pitch, providing the springboard for Platini and Giresse to shine. He embodied grace and endurance. After the tournament, Tigana continued his rise to prominence, reaching his peak at Euro 1984 with a legendary dribble in extra time against Portugal. After retiring, he became a talented coach, leading AS Monaco to the Champions League semi-finals and achieving success in England with Fulham. Beyond football, Tigana was also a successful businessman in the wine industry. He owned vineyards in the Provence region and lived a life of sophistication and refinement. There's an interesting parallel between Tigana and wine. The longer it ages, the more potent its value. On the pitch, his style of play was simple yet absolutely effective. Off the field, he chose a discreet but elegant lifestyle. He is a symbol of rising from poverty. He was born in Mali into a large family to become a successful gentleman. Today, at 68 years old, Jean Tigana has retired from coaching to focus on tending his vineyards. He rarely appears in public, but whenever he is mentioned, people still remember the image of a player with graceful strides, as if gliding across the grass. Dominique Rocheteau, the legendary L'Ange Vert, entered the 1982 World Cup at the age of 27 as a completely transformed striker. No longer the delicate romantic of Saint-Étienne, but a complete killer in the PSG jersey. In that tournament, Rocheteau scored 2 crucial goals against Northern Ireland, contributing to the team's attacking prowess. He was handsome and elegant, but above all, he possessed the footballing mindset of a true artist, always seeking beauty in every touch and every movement. Unlike most footballers, Rocheteau possessed the soul of an intellectual. He loved literature, film, and music. After retiring from playing, he tried his hand at filmmaking, writing books, and engaging in human rights activities. He later returned to become the sporting director for his former club, Saint-Étienne. Rocheteau always maintained a calm and humble demeanor, avoiding personal scandals. He was a role model of a star who knew how to maintain his image and live a meaningful life. Rocheteau's romanticism on the pitch was a reflection of his artistic soul off the field. He played football as if writing poetry, and lived his life like a gentle novel. He proved that footballers are not just about muscles, but also about having a heart and mind full of emotion. Today, at 69, Dominique Rocheteau is living a peaceful life in his hometown of Charente-Maritime, where he manages a football and education center. The angel of yesteryear is now a gentle old man, but his smile still stirs many hearts, evoking memories of a glorious past. Jean-François Larios possessed a romantic charm and innate talent. At the age of 25, he entered the 1982 World Cup, promising to form a perfect midfield partnership with Platini, as he was a shining star for Saint-Étienne and had been voted the best French player in 1980. However, at Espana 82, he only played in 2 matches before gradually disappearing from the game. The reason wasn't his professional ability, but a shocking love scandal involving Platini's family. This tragedy isolated Larios in the locker room, pushed him to the sidelines of the national team, and buried his international career at its peak. After the tournament, Larios' career plummeted. He drifted through Atletico Madrid, Manchester City, and then returned to France, but never regained his peak form. The fallen angel retired with regret. However, Larios' life after football showed a different kind of remarkable rise. He became one of the most powerful football agents in France, managing top stars like Thierry Henry and Patrick Vieira in the early stages of their careers. He used his painful experiences to guide the next generation, helping them avoid similar pitfalls. The connection between Larios on the field and in life is one of talent but unfulfilled. On the pitch in 1982, he was a star overshadowed by the darkness of his private life. In his personal life, he lived for many years under the shadow of that scandal before finding his light again in a different role. He is proof that a youthful mistake can change a person's destiny. Today, at age 68, Jean-François Larios has retired and published an autobiography confessing to past mistakes to find peace of mind. He lives a quiet life, carrying the sadness of an unfulfilled talent, but also full of pride for having bravely confronted the truth and risen again.